Yo, we crack open the cold one with the crew. Raw J bringing brews, AP got the screw. Midwest vibes, pouring pints, yeah we grinding. Sales of Fox and Morse, keep your minds rewinding. Across the state, spread the word, that's how we do. From the craft to the cans, always see something new. Raise your glasses, cheers to the chip we sold. And every sip, till the stories evolve.
Hear news blowing up, hear the chatter.
Midwest Beer Show, bass in the crowd. Borgia on the mic with the passion and blast. Dave Z's got the knowledge for an history fast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Saturday night and another Midwest Beer Show. In the house. And of course, you know me, Rod J, you know Dave Z. And tonight we're actually breaking up the routine. We're going to actually have a special guest on. So still going to be news because it's probably about a product you never heard about, but we're going to kind of just do a special around that and kind of introduce you to a new technique or a new futuristic type thing you might be interested in adding to your beer when you want to get that bourbon type feel. So I'm a big fan of bourbon. Dave, I believe you're a big fan of the bourbon. You like the oak as well. So This is a kind of a great revolutionizing type idea, I think. It definitely has some legs with it. So that being said, we're going to bring in Cal Larson, who is with Soluble.
Hi, howdy. Great to be here. And I'm with Thomas Crosstree, who's the local brewer that has amazing palate and has used Soluble Oak a lot. So he's here on my right. So
welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome to both of you here. It's great to have you on. And we've been talking about Soluble Oak. I guess from Cal, you reached out, maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago. But then we kind of all just go in different directions. So we weren't able to get everything all constructed to now to have you as a guest. And we appreciate you doing that. Dave has actually done testing with it already. I have not. So that'll be great because we have someone that's already done testing with it, someone that has not done testing with it, and of course, the person that created it here. So, first thing looking out, Cal, how'd you come up with this idea? What made you think about doing this? And for those watching, Soluble Oak is right here. Pinned to the top of the comments is a link to the website as well, which we'll show during the course too. But how would you like to have your beer where you can just add something to it and provide instant oak? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So, Cal, give us a rundown. How did you get involved? How did you get started? What's the background? What's the history here?
Series of mistakes, really. But I am my specialty is white oak, and I'm a lumber geek, white oak, and I export all over the world and done it for the last 30 years. And short version, anyway, it was 2018. I was on the plane going to Spain, and I was reading about extraction, and the guy outside of Madrid hit me up, wanted me to import wine staves to the U.S. And I thought, well, why don't they extract that? And it turns out they do. But the industry is notoriously bad. I mean, I tried, first I tried to do it myself, and it was a complete disaster. It was, so I had a couple friends in Spokane in the science community, a medicinal chemist and a biologist, and we started tinkering about 2018, trying to figure out how to extract. And lots of people have done it. I don't want to say anything mean, but across the board, it's like you go into a winery, the wineries that have tried oak extraction, and no one wants to see it because the product is so bad, it tastes so terrible. But it turns out that it's a species that is super hard to extract. There's over 200 compounds, and some can take heat, some can't take heat. And what people have extracted generally is used foreign substances to try to extract it. Mm-hmm. And nothing has been really authentic. And we did over COVID. For 4 years, we did solid tests in the lab here in Spokane, and we started reading all the literature on extraction and everything done about white oak, and just did trial and fail, and we started to have some success, and we think this is a breakthrough in our opinion, as it's really tastes authentic. I was in Spain 2 weeks ago, and they invited me over, but they were like hyper skeptical until they tried it, and they're going like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" So anyway, that's the short of it, I guess. And
well, I mean, I don't want you to give away the 11 secret herbs and spices, but how do you make, wood soluble?
Yeah, that's a little bit hard to answer without giving secrets, but we manipulated in the laboratory natural physical properties of oak by using different chambers with different types of gravity, and that's how we started to get around extraction using new methods. The medicinal chemist I use has had a huge background in extracting marijuana, and so we had a leg up on using some of the new techniques, which was thrown a lot of money at to start. But the saying at Soluble Oak is oak plus nothing. We've added nothing artificial to the oak. Therefore, you can't taste anything. I know, Dave, you just did some experiments, and it's like I would imagine you didn't taste anything but oak, because that's all. Yeah. So that's different, and we're excited to be here with you guys. Fire away any questions you might have.
Yeah, no, it's excellent to have you here, and shout out to you, Mercy, and thank you for joining us. Our international, one of our UK peeps over there. So always happy to cross the ocean and spread the word all around the world that we can. But it was, I gotta say, it was kind of interesting twist though, right? Because you were selling like as a White Oak salesman. It's kind of like you weren't in beer, but you had this thing that you brought to it. And that's one of the cool things, that when people are outside the industry, ideas they come up with, that somebody's probably in the industry right now, like, how did I not think of this? Like, I'm around this stuff all day long, right? But that's what you kind of bring being out there. But it's kind of, I mean, how just to make that turn, like you came up with that idea, but it's kind of like, now I'm going to get involved in the beer industry, which is another thing you have to go tackle.
Yeah, I really don't know how I made that turn, but wow. But I do. This is my background. So I know White Oak. I know how it grows in different regions in the U.S. and France and different parts of Europe. And it turns out, how to say this, but we did a bunch of tests in the laboratory. And I know it's a rabbit trail, but you could do with this gas chromatography. You could actually go in and see what is being extracted with the different chemicals in White Oak, and we found out it's kind of like a watermelon. The very best extractives are in the center of the log, and that is problematic for the barrel and stave industry, because the center of the log is where all the knots are, and when they're making staves, you can't use that because the barrels will leak, and so. Yeah. So we've our approach was A, find the best forest, and then B, find the very best part of the log to use, and that's where we started. And I think it's interesting that we're talking about beer, because beer inherently with low ABV is terrible at extracting the best of White Oak. You know, if you're 4 to 8% or whatever alcohol content you have in a beer, you're extracting the hydrosolubles, the tannins. The big thing you're going to get is a hit of tannins. Which tannins are great, but it doesn't have the whole menagerie of what's in the oak. And what's worse, I know you like bourbon barrels and stuff. I do too, but it's sort of like I don't know what I say this, but the redheaded stepchild. It's everything's been extracted from the barrel, and what you're getting is the remnants and those off flavors, like either wine or bourbon, but you're not extracting the best, and the best has been long extracted. So we take the premise of we extract the best. He can attest to like the crazy crazy flavor profiles that are on there that just like super delicate profiles that you cannot get from a bourbon barrel. It's, you know, as it hits you, you guys, I mean, can you attest that aged beer and bourbon barrel kind of tastes the same, right? In a way, you get the same flavor. It's not very nuanced. So we're starting with, I like to think it's like giving the beer industry, the craft beer industry, a much more delicate start in terms of a really rich flavor profile. So
Okay. And Thomas, for you, because you actually do the brewing and stuff, so what was your thoughts when Cal first had this idea? Like, what did you like kind of think, like knowing the history that you knew about brewing beer?
Just like what he was saying, his first experience with some of the other wineries and stuff that he's talked to, I was skeptical as heck. I didn't know him before this endeavor. So he walked into a brewery that I'd formerly owned, and he's like, "Hey, this is my project. I'm doing an oak product." And I'm like, "All right, I'll hear the guy out." But on the inside, I'm like, "All right, this is going to take me 5 minutes and I'm going to be done." And I'll politely tell him no. But I was really, truly blown away. And that's why I'm still talking with him years later. Because, and to me, everything is special about it, what is in it. But my immediate reaction was what was not in it. It didn't taste medicinal. It wasn't overly sweetened with sugar, syrupy sort of thing. So that's really what stood out to me.
Okay. And to talk about, like, we'll give your little brewery a shout out here too and everything, because you're doing the brewing, you're doing the meadery, doing so. Highlight like with the people, what you're kind of doing at your location.
What are we doing?
Yeah, like highlight for the people that are watching, like what you're kind of doing. Yeah. So
in general, we're producing beer and mead. Got carbonated mead around that 5 to 6% mark. It's mostly dry, so it's when people walk in, they're looking. Oftentimes, they're thinking, "Oh, mead, it's really sweet, 12 to 15%." And I do have a few of those, but kind of our hallmark on the mead side is our dry carbonated meads. On the beer side, I'm doing a lot of reaching into kind of history, doing Groot ales, doing braggots, doing things like that. But I kind of put those together with some modern brewing. I like to do what I call a Groot IPA. So I've got a traditional IPA, modern IPA, but then I add a few botanicals to it.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, we're doing that pretty fun. And I like using the oak that Cal's got in some of those products too.
Well, you guys are making me thirsty here. So I'm going to crack one open here. So I'm going to do the Guinness draft, because that was the one you initially in the email, Cal, you sent me. So before how much should I put in my glass before I crack open this can here at Guinness draft?
Well, you're highly disadvantaged because you don't have a pipette, right? Yeah. So I saw on one of your videos. All right, Rob's got one.
I didn't get the pipette.
So for everyone listening, about 1%.
Okay.
So if you have 100 milliliters, about 1 milliliter or less. So you had it looks like online or whatever, you had like about a cup or something like that. You just put a couple drops.
Okay, a couple drops.
And I think right now you want to have it enough so you can taste it. Our philosophy is in general is you don't really want to hit it, like if you're a brewer or whatever, you don't want to hit them over the head with the flavor. Mm-hmm. Rather kind of beguile, have it like a subtle flavor in the background. But for tonight's purpose, I think you could be hit over the head a little bit, so you know what you're tasting, right?
Right. So Dave's actually doing a Guinness draft. So before you pour, like, what are you doing on yours, Cal?
I have a Guinness. Just so I have a Guinness with them.
Okay, you're both doing a Guinness, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely, like on my end here, like you noticed that right off the top. I only used a couple drops, maybe 3 drops, 4 drops without the pipette. But that's the first thing that I get, the wood notes. Then after that, you're getting like the chocolatey malts. Everything is kind of bringing up the rear. But like the oak is what hits me right up front. Just, I didn't do the full can. This is only a 12-ounce glass, but.
Are you using
great.
Are you using French oak or American oak there?
I think the one you gave me was the French oak.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, so you have the French and the American. Are those the only two that you have for the flavor for the oaks right now, or is there another?
Those are the two oaks that we focus in on. And we do different roasts as well, kind of non-roast or medium roast. And I think what you guys have is the dark roast. And
yeah, I have the American oak dark.
Yeah, that should be interesting to try it with.
Yeah.
By the way,
all right, well, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. Cheers. Yeah.
Now I'm going to actually do one using the Firestone Walker Sun Glider.
Sun Glider. Okay, nice.
That they provided. So
on that, you could spit it out.
Yeah, that's good.
What Rod, what did you put in there?
I didn't put anything in yet, but it's the golden lager that I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you usually put the beer in a glass first before you put the drops.
Yeah.
The drops in first.
Just roll around a little bit.
All right.
I put the drops in first, so sorry about that.
It works. It works.
Like so, it gives it. You definitely get the oak, and I'm getting like. Maybe more because I'm not doing it side by side, so I don't have one in front of me. But I think I'm getting a little bit more like vanilla out of it, and I could be wrong. But I'm getting like a little bit more sweetness coming through your traditional, just regular Guinness draft here that I have.
Mm-hmm. That's something that always really popped out to me. Getting those more delicate flavors out of it, the vanilla, the cinnamon. Even a little butterscotch, which can be kind of a bad word sometimes in brewing, but it's not that off flavor type butterscotch. No. It's just a nice little richness.
You know what? Now that you mentioned that, and maybe you just planted the seed, but yeah, I can definitely see that. I didn't get the cinnamon, but I definitely had a little bit of that, butterscotch candy, not like, the off flavor butterscotch, but no, I definitely see where you're coming from on that. Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah. So for those of you that watch the channel, you've seen me do the golden lager, or if you didn't, go back and watch the video. So it's an American adjunct lager for the most part. So now I am going to put in the American Oak Dark. The mad scientist over here, folks.
Yeah, you good.
How did I not get the pipette?
Sorry, I didn't send you one.
I didn't get the eyedropper out.
So all you do is put it in and you hold your finger, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can. If you want more, you kind of suck it up. It's not.
Okay, I was gonna say. I didn't know if it was like when we bartend or.
Okay, it's undignified, but.
Let me see. I don't want to spill any on here.
Gas prices are so high, you could use that technique, siphoning gas.
Right. That's just what I was just thinking about, siphoning gas.
I filled up today. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So I put some in. Put this to the side. He said just swirl it. So it's very soluble. Obviously, it's soluble oak. So right from the beginning. I can actually I can already smell the aroma coming off of it, though, which is nice. I don't know if I put a couple too many drops or not, but definitely picking that up. A little bit of a mess here. It's a nice feel of the oak. I got like the vanilla to butterscotch. I'm getting like a smoldering aroma coming off of it. Like pretty much like I'm getting a smoldering aroma, kind of like a fireside camp. Get the vanilla. Vanilla's nice. Yeah, but definitely get that sunken in oak feel from the bourbon. I feel like it's getting that latched part of it where it's really latched into the barrel. Yes, that's nice. Might as well taste it, right? It's nice. It brings in that vanilla, brings in a little bit of a cinnamon type flavor I'm picking up.
Right. Can you?
I can sense I can sense a little bit like a butterscotch type thing, but it's not like the old butterscotch candy or whatever. It's kind of just like a tinge that's in there.
I love
Can
me
you,
some old grandma
sense the-
butterscotch candy, though.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with the old grandma candy, the butterscotch candy.
Can you sense a mouthfeel change, Rod?
Yeah, I can pick up in the mouthfeel. I'm getting a lot more of a latching in, like in the cheeks from the flavor. It definitely changes up the adjunct lager feel to give it more of that back end of it. So it almost improves the body of it. So the Sun Glider already is a nice beer for that this type of weather, 75-degree weather out there, kind of lawnmower, playing golf, whatever type thing. And this gives it a little bit more of a distinguished type factor to it, if I can kind of use that there. It's almost like I would now want to have this and have a cigar along with it. I kind of get that cigar type feel to pair up with it. This is nice. And so it's kind of like, you know, we talked before, but if a brewery does it, it's after fermentation, it's usually into the bright tank. But for someone that wanted to pick it up as an individual, they could pick it up to have on hand to actually just add to their beer a couple drops and, you know, find your balance with it. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say on the Guinness, we're like such fans at the factory. We've done a ton of experimentation, and our goal was to come up with a formula to try to match when they did use barrels and just how that flavor might have been. So I mean, we're using fresh oak, and I know they use barrels after barrels, so it's a little different, but.
Well, I was going to say the one thing I'm getting from it too, when you're talking about barreling, I'm getting like an Innocent Gun type feel. With Innocent Gun were the original ones really doing the barreling from over in the UK. I kind of get that kind of playing in my head nostalgia-wise from tasting the flavor here. So that puts it pretty much on point.
Well, one thing that I was going to say is like this is warming up a little bit in my hand. Like, you know, your typical Guinness draft always has that Guinness tang, if you will. And that kind of, with this and only a couple drops, that like tang went away. And this is much more like a mellow, smoother drinking beer, if you will. Like, I don't get that tang at all. I'm getting the vanilla. I get a little bit of the butter. I'm waiting for the cinnamon to come in. It hasn't come in yet. So I'm getting all that, but it's definitely it's an easier drinking, more mellow taste experience for me.
Exactly. I just want to point one thing out. So, you know, not to diss on Guinness because I love Guinness, but
oh yeah,
you know when you're at the end of the glass and it kind of becomes sour.
Yeah.
Okay. Adding the oak, it does not have that at the end. It's
okay.
It's true throughout. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of as you guys mentioned too a little bit, I like how it affects the body. On there, just really smooths things out. It's really nice. I've even used it to fix off flavors. I'll be honest, as a brewer, I'm like, man, this is just a little bit harsh, but otherwise the beer's pretty good. It would go great. And I put in a little bit where the oak isn't even necessarily real perceived.
Yeah,
right.
But it just really smooths out those corners.
Well, I've got another Rod that's a friend of the show, a long-time subscriber. He's actually drinking a Labatt Blue, and something like that being adjunct lager, even something you could take this and add that to it, and I think it would even get more of that nice back. And so if you like oak, you know, your Labatt, your Buds, your main adjunct beers, I think this can actually switch that up for you a little bit, you know, give you a different feel to it than just having what I would say, like a lot of times, it's the grains, but that corn type feel, right? This can actually help to combat that some and give you something else out of it as well. So if you are getting that kind of thing, you just want to pick up something to do in addition to it. I remember when Bud did like a barrel, or they did a thing with, I think it was Jack Daniels back in the day. They tried that like years ago, but this actually comes together even better than what that did, I think, when they did that.
You know, they don't age it in Beechwood?
I don't know how long you can age it in Beechwood for, but yeah, not the one you would think of using. So, as you're talking to other breweries out there, Cal, like, are you finding you're starting to get a little bit of traction? Or are you finding things are starting to happen a little bit more? I know this upcoming week, I couldn't be there, but no, I'm sorry, 2 weeks, they had the CBC up in Philly with a lot of the breweries. Because it seemed like you have a great opportunity if you were to get into one of those things as well with some of the people you could share this with.
Yeah, we would definitely like to do something like that. We are getting traction. When we started out, our focus was more on spirits and wine, and but it's such a natural for beer, for craft beer. I think it has something way different than for the spirits guys, because it's like we're extracting something that the spirits guys can already extract, but the beer guys really can't do. So we think it's a different profile. Anyway, yeah.
Is this something like if you're a brewer and you're making something with this, is this something like you could like set it and forget it? Or, is there tinkering involved with this? One, depending on the beer style and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, there's a little bit of bench trial, but it's honestly so easy and intuitive to use that it's like, all right, I know that this one, he mentioned that 1% mark, but just knowing, all right, I like this beer does well at 1%, or this beer, I wanted a little more kick, so 1.5. But once you dial that in, it's pretty repeatable and pretty easy going.
Like, what as a brewer, what would be easier to like do a whole, batch, or, have your base, whichever beer you're going to serve it with, like say, hey, I could do a plain one here, and then you could add a few drops and then pour it there and do like a side by side. Like, do you ever see like doing something like that?
I haven't done that out of the tap room yet. I've always done like the full batch.
Okay.
But that's an interesting idea. I hadn't actually thought of it that way before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could definitely be something that we could do. We've done that together and with some others. I just haven't launched that out of the tap room. But
yeah, because I mean, you read a lot, and I'm pushing 60, so I know nothing about what the young kids want. But you keep reading that younger generation wants more customization with whatever their products are. That's what they grew up with. They grew up with the Coke machine, where it's like 31 flavors in a Coke, where you could, as a brewer, we have, my basic IPA or my basic mead, but we could also, if you want, the wood mead, you could have it that way too, where, maybe that gives a little more customization to get more people to try it. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that working, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can see.
Per your question, it's this is one thing Thomas said. When he's been dealing with barrels and beers, like you put it in and pray, because everything is like kind of different when it comes out. We've really made an effort to have a really uniform flavor, uniform dosage, everything uniform, so that the bigger guys can scale up and have some confidence at the bright tank. So,
yeah, that's a huge difference from actually trying to use barrels. I mean, there's a lot of technique. There's a lot of care that goes into that. So I don't want to say like it's just all higgledy-piggledy chaos, but there is that sense of like, I hope that this goes well. And I mean, I've had a barrel, I've put stuff in a barrel and then it leaks later, and we've got air logs, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is just so straightforward and easy to use.
Well, I'm going to say on the Golden Lager, it definitely works. It's a success of my book.
Nice.
Awesome. Hey, I was going to ask Thomas to talk about IPAs.
Okay.
Because in some ways, soluble oak or oak fights against that bitterness.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a cat and mouse. I don't know if you want to just talk about that.
Oh, sure. Well, kind of as mentioned before, I feel like it just really brings out a nice smoothness. Say if you slightly get a harsh bitterness out of something and you add just a little bit of oak, it brings out that nice smoothness, rounds out those corners. And to me, it doesn't end up fighting with any of the hop profiles. It ends up complementing it, even with that little bit of vanilla, with the little bit of kind of pseudo sweetness. You're not actually obviously adding any sugar, but it does add that kind of perception of just a nice touch of sweetness.
Okay.
Like, if you tried this with West Coast and hazies, or what's your experience with it?
Yeah, I've had the best experience with stuff like on the West Coast side of things, a little more clear, a little more bitter. I've definitely used it in a hazy as well on very, very small amounts. And it just improves that mouthfeel, especially when you're looking for something pillowy and soft. It really adds to that pillowy, soft mouthfeel.
Cool.
Very nice. Yeah. Speaking of hazy, shout out to Big Daddy, who's actually drinking a hazy double IPA.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, Big Daddy, if you like to add oak, this could be something to add to that. But
Yeah.
And if you like Old Irving, Big Daddy, listen to the show coming out tomorrow.
but I think I'm going to grab another one here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the Irish cream to kind of see how that plays out. So I have one of the Southern Tier Irish coffee cream ale. So going to see how this plays out into this one.
We're going to try a Samuel Smith India.
Oh, okay. ABL. Okay. That's a good beer too. Yeah.
And I'll let Thomas doctor it how you want it. Do you want to do American or French or both?
I like the American when we're talking about the
Okay.
IPAs and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's the American one I got. It's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dave has the French oak. So
Do you want to? How do you want to do it? Toast-wise.
Yeah.
Put in a milliliter.
Yeah. Probably good.
Okay. I gotta say, Thomas is being a bad boy. He's on antibiotics and he's drinking beer. So I hope your doctor doesn't see
We're all
this.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
is
are
he now?
guidelines. It's not etched in stone.
Yeah.
Those are just guidelines.
suggested guidelines.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to do. You sold me, Thomas, on an IPA, so I'm going to do a West Coast here. Is there a difference with the amount that you should put in of the soluble oak depending on the beer, or is it the same, roughly a couple drops here or there?
I'd say it's a good kind of benchmark, at least to get started with. Ultimately, of course, it comes down to personal preference. On an IPA, personally, I like to go just a little bit less than what we would do, like for like the Guinness or something.
All right, got that in there.
And Rod, also just a brief comment.
Mhm.
When you have a big beer like a Imperial Stout, you're fighting against a lot of flavors versus a lager. So you just have to put more soluble oak in there to get noticed because everything's
Right.
big. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one here is a little baby beer with Southern Tier, I think. Which I usually do drink a lot of the big ABV ones. 5.5%, so not even too heavy on that one. But you get it in.
Okay.
Yeah, again, the aromas come off. Now I'm getting like that vanilla and cinnamon into basically an Irish coffee.
Oh
An
yeah.
Irish coffee cream ale. Now you're adding vanilla and cinnamon on top of that other side. Starbucks should market something like this. To be honest with you.
Well, in a funny way, I've actually used some of this in some non-alcoholic products like coffee, and it still is very applicable. It still is great.
Oh, that is good. Yeah.
All right, so that's in a West Coast IPA from Revolution. Give a shout out to Revolution, Anti-Hero, classic. I'm getting all the reflection off my light here. Anti-Hero IPA, really good West Coast. So pours nice. The one thing I did notice when I did it with the lager, definitely had a lot more head than you normally would get. So that was kind of like wild at first, but it gave it like a more creamier taste.
Nice.
Yeah.
And definitely thank you there, Bruce. Appreciate you watching from Australia
Hello, Bruce.
as well.
Yeah.
Cheers. And if you guys have
Somebody's
comments
watching
for
us from
soluble,
Australia?
for soluble oak, feel free to ask away in the comments. Also, for any questions you may have, I'll pull their website up here in a second too, because I think anybody can go to the website if they want to order it, right?
Right. And
Okay.
we're starting. We've done just stuff for the big guys, and now this is the first week, probably because of the show. We're starting to offer like a smaller packs for like 5-gallon batches. So
Yeah.
Okay.
and then Thomas, do you want to talk about this beer?
Oh, well, like the others. It adds that nice softness to it. I really like what it does to West Coast IPAs. Well, and this is more of an English IPA, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But talking.
Samuel Smith is really good,
Samuel
though.
Smith, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Killer beer.
But I would say with if you haven't done it with like a coffee cream ale, highly recommend, because this is just a dessert in the evening by itself. Adding the soluble oak to this on top of that with the, like I said, the vanilla, the cinnamon, the flavors that are playing off the other ones, it's just matching together nicely. I could easily drink this at brunch, if I was having brunch at this point.
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, Rod.
That's what they told me in college. So, I mean, and shout out to KO. Said, hey guys, I love oak and brewing beer for that matter. I'm not familiar with this product. Right now, he's aging a 12% Imperial Stout in a corny keg with 0.8 ounce toasted oak cubes soaked in bourbon. But KO is out on the West Coast stuff too. So you guys are in Washington. So we'll put the stuff up there, KO, so you can check out their website, because you might want to get your hands on some of this too. It's some good stuff.
And he's talking about already has some oak in there. This even has applicability to, say, one difference with barrels is it doesn't have that gentle oxygen gas exchange that you will get a little bit of oxidization in a barrel-aged beer. And of course, you're not going to get that in an instant dose like this. But what you can do, if you've got a barrel that, say, you've used a few times and it's really just spent out, you can get the oak from the soluble oak. You can get the aging process from the barrel. So using both in tandem works out sometimes too.
All right, yeah, you get kind of the best of both worlds here.
Yeah.
That's exactly true. We've got a winery here in Spokane that's using their like 10-year-old barrels, and they're just like re-injecting the oak in it, and exactly what Thomas said, still having that slow oxygenation mellowing for 5 years or whatever, but just reusing the barrel. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to the response you're getting from some of the wineries and stuff. So that's been kind of an interesting twist in itself, which is funny because, like, I have a bourbon barrel aged red wine out there now. So some of the wineries have been getting into some of the barrel, but now you can bring this, which opens up another opportunity.
I feel that the beer guys they're out there to experiment. It's like they're wild. It's like, do a batch a week, whatever. And but the wine guys are inherently hyper conservative. It's like one crop a year. We've done it all. We've always done it this way. So a little tougher.
You were mentioning before, Cal, like you have different levels, like light and dark, and like you layer levels if you wanted to. If you like wanted something like a char or a different toast, would you be able to like layer that if you wanted
100%.
to use different? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And we're mixing American and French as well. They have different properties. Like the French is, has a pH of like 311 versus the American is like 4 something. So it's amazing at mouthfeel. But I don't know. Maybe you could speak to. You've tried like the untoasted and the medium toast and.
Yeah, I really like how he's formulated a lot of different levels of that toast. And I've even really liked the non-toasted, just completely no toast out of that too. So he's played around with anything from no toast all the way to a really deep, heavy toast. And I've liked, depending on the beer style, the mead style of what I'm doing, I've liked each one of those for different applicability.
I think especially you've tried like the lagers or the much more mild beers have a much lower toast, so you're not tasting the char Just getting a really nice mouthfeel of the oak.
Yeah.
And as Thomas said too, you may or may not be tasting the oak, but hey, this is really soft. Goes down easy.
So for the home brewers, I think this size is like 1 5-gallon batch, right? They got one of these. That's all they would need for a 5-gallon batch, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So.
So in doing some of the different beer styles and stuff that you've tested, are there beer styles you come across that you found weren't as great of a match, or you kind of didn't work out possibly for?
Yeah, cutting my own throat. Yes. I think you just have to really be careful with the IPAs, because people like that bite, and then if you take the bite out, it's like, hey, where'd the bitterness go? So you have to be really careful. Did you have more comments on that? It was like when you put in the hops or the bittering, it was like...
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what styles lend itself, we've already talked a couple times about IPAs, but I would say that's kind of the least go-to style, even though sometimes I think it works really, really well. But I mean, I've some of my favorites that I've done is, of course, dark beers are lend itself very well to that. Saisons have been really awesome. The reds, but then also lagers. You're also talking about the adjunct lager you had there. I think it goes great with nice light lagers. Gives it just a little bit more body, that sophistication you mentioned. I've said that exact thing before. Yeah.
I think it really masks the grainy feel of it that comes through and gives it a different take on it, which I like. I'm not a huge fan. That's one of the reasons I was always more of an ale than lager in the past, because I wasn't a fan, especially the adjunct lagers and that grain, basically corn type feel. And this kind of masks that in that type of beer there. So I'm like, I could definitely have more of your adjunct lagers if I had something like this to actually add into it, which is another opportunity I see in itself as well. Here in Cincinnati, one of our breweries is Urban Artifact, which is known for their sour and wild ales more now across the country and what they're doing. But one of the cool things to do is when you went there, they'd have a liquid you could actually have at your table. You could squeeze into your drink to take off some of that sourness. And I'm like, this would be kind of cool with some of the bars that they were setting up, where you could actually have this right there and just put a couple drops in or whatever to add to give yourself a back and feel. I mean, breweries could definitely cash in on it and be like, hey, for an extra couple dollars, we'll give you this, thing. You can add it as you go, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Just passing along sales ideas to you, Cal.
Yeah.
So, thank you. I'll write those down.
Couple dollars a drop.
Yeah.
It's like straight up four moves coming through this. Couple dollars a drop. Man.
You got to check the market and find the value. You work from there. So always aim high rather than aim low.
Appreciate it. I'm going to crack an amber here.
Okay.
Well, when you're doing that, I'll ask a general question. Like, where do you see this fitting in the craft beer landscape? Is this something like for efficiency? Is this creative? Or is this like a combination of the both?
Well, it's new. It's like new flavors, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's super efficient. Big guys can do it. Like you can't be a big brewery and really do barrels efficiently, right? There's just too much labor in that. But I think it's just for me anyway. It's new flavors, new profiles. It's different, and so I think especially with beers, it has something pretty cool to offer. I don't know what you think, Thomas.
Yeah, I like I mentioned here at my brewery, we do a lot of historical modern stuff, and I like the historical use of oak with the modern use of it, the modern getting those different profiles that you wouldn't normally get out of an actual barrel aged beer. Plus, yeah, really like that.
Also, we would like to kind of morph, if the government will allow us to do more heritage flavors. I mean, like the turn of the century, a lot of barrels were chestnut, and then there's a chestnut blight in the U.S., and so no one knows that flavor, but apparently it was really good. And there's a lot of chestnut in France, and we're importing oak from France, and so kind of want to try to get in that market if we can get approvals, but no one, of course, is doing that, so it's a little difficult to get
Gotcha.
approval. Yeah.
What about like other types of wood? Like I've had some like barrel aged beers but they were done in something like there was a cedar beer that I had that was lights out phenomenal. Like, are you working with other types of woods, or do you see that in your future?
I would like to, but there's the regulations are really tight. The legality of what you could put in a consumable product. So though I think like that's really great, and birch and different things like that, but we're just being really careful and trying to focus at this time. We had someone in Hawaii that was doing all natural Hawaiian beers, Hawaiian yeast, and they approached us with wanting to use a Hawaiian species for wood.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I see it in the cards. I don't know how to navigate that legally, but I mean, at the plant we do crazy stuff. So and we drink it and we're alive. So anyway,
you got to do it legally, and it's also cost efficient. Like getting wood from France or Hawaii's got to be a lot more expensive than just getting your American oak.
Right.
Yeah. Because of the cost of gas to transport it now. So yeah. No, that's good there. Let's go with. I love doing this all for science, by the way.
I can tell you've done a lot of research.
So out of Columbus, Ohio, I'm going to actually go with the North High and their Road Irish Red Ale. So we're going to try the Irish Red with the soluble oak and see how that plays out.
This is Aslan Brewing. It's the brown ale.
So, what was the brewery? I couldn't see it, Cal.
Aslan. I think is it Seattle?
Oh, I've been Aslan down in Virginia.
Is that where it is?
ASLIN?
ASLAN Brewing Company.
I think they're Virginia. Because I've been to them in Virginia.
Oh, Bellingham, Washington. Another one.
Oh, so, maybe another one. Oh, okay. Interesting.
I couldn't remember which.
Yeah. I guess it's a popular name.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. You can spit out. Yeah. Do you want to try French or American?
Maybe French on this one.
Okay, let's do it.
I know the guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rod.
No, I was going to just say I know that the Artemis crew went around the moon this week, but I like what I do for science a lot more.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cal, like, what's the weirdest, wildest, or most unexpected use of soluble oak that you've seen so far?
Well, this probably doesn't sound too crazy, but what Thomas suggested about correcting really bad beers. That's wild.
Thomas doesn't make really bad beers. You know, Thomas.
Talking about beer that had gone south, and I called Thomas, and it comes up with some plan, and we just tweak it on the spot, and that's pretty cool.
All right, awesome.
And shout out to Ridge, another one of the YouTubers out there as well. Cheers, my friend.
Yep.
Also just finished a Clag New England Double IPA. And Big Daddy said he ran into the brewer over at Old Irvin's and stuff like that. About the
Trevor's a great guy.
Yeah.
Trevor is he's a phenomenal guy. Did you get the 28 months later when you were at OIB?
You're talking to Big Daddy.
I'm talking to Big Daddy because he was there. The 28 months later was fantastic. They just put out a barley wine. They aged for 28 months in a Willet barrel. They just put that out like 2 days ago, and that was really, really good.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That sounds good.
They had it's going on this weekend. They have their Kolsch that's called Della. And it's one of GABF. It's a really good Kolsch. So they're having like a festival this weekend for their Kolsch. And then they released this barley wine that was like really good. But yeah, the guy he was mentioning, that commenter, Big Daddy Trevor, stand-up guy. That was the guy he asked about Solid Bill Oak, if he's ever heard of you guys, and he's like, no, you heard of a different one. So I'll talk to him later about this.
Awesome. So we just dosed that brown with French, and I think we put way too much in it.
Okay.
But I don't know what your comments are, Thomas, on that. Did you try it?
Yeah. No, it might be a little bit more than I would usually go for, but even with overdoing it, it's not because it lacks those other kind of off flavors in terms of it's not medicinal. It's still not offensive. It might be a little stronger than I wanted, but it's not like an offensive slap to the face.
Yeah, it's not like you're drinking pencil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. None of them. I'm not getting medicinal from any of the ones I've actually done here. And with the Irish Red, with Irish Red, you usually have like that breadiness, and you have a little bit of that caramel coming through. You're getting a little bit more of a richness, and putting this on top of that, kicking in with some of the vanilla and the cinnamon type tones, just even adds that a little bit more. It just enhances it. That's like an extra enhancement. It's like, the people that like to do their and I've done selfies too, but people get into the whole filter thing, and they're kind of just looking for that other thing to add, and it just adds another enhancement to make it shine a little bit more. Yeah. And again, it makes you want to have a cigar with it. So it's kind of like, I love pairing cigars with some of the bourbon beers, or if I'm having a bourbon whiskey and stuff like that, but I can easily see doing that with having this as something to add into beers whenever I want to do that as well. It plays nice. It's playing nice with everything I've done thus far.
Nice.
I'm curious, Rod, if you or Dave too, does it really seem like a new flavor to you for beer, or more traditional barrel aged flavor?
It's for me. It seems to be more of kind of an enhancement. It's not going to the full barrel, but it's giving me more of the barrel features, right? So it's giving me, like I said, the vanilla, the oak, the cinnamon. It's adding a different feel to it without it actually having to go into the oakiness. I'm not pulling a lot of the woodiness out of it, but I'm pulling out a lot of the other tones, and it's making like a nice smooth over appeal to it. Like I said, a lot of the adjunct lagers I don't drink as much, but having something like this and what it did with the Firestone Walker one, it just took it to a different level than it was previously, which was a decent one as it was. But now It's like, I grab this, I grab a 6-pack of that, and I'm off to a different race. So, yeah.
Like for me, these are more like subtle nuances. Like it's not over the top. Like it changes the complexity to the beer, but you still know what the beer is. You know what the base beer is that you're drinking. This just is subtle, and it adds to it, and it adds to it in a good way. Like the two beers that I had so far, the Guinness and I had the IPA, it was really good. And yeah, it doesn't slap you in the face like, oh, you're not like drowning in wood, but it's like, it's there, you taste it, it blends well with the flavors, and it's just like a little extra that like just puts it over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like back in the day, I was at one of the, I don't know if you guys have the BJ brew houses where you guys are, but I have been at one of those, and people would like they were ordering like their beer, but they were basically ordering their beer, but they got a bourbon shot in the bottom of the glass. And I was talking to the beer tender I was making it for this group that was doing it that way. Basically, it was like a Boilermaker, right? But
yeah.
They put the shot of bourbon in, and then they put the beer on top, like the stout they would have there. And it just blended all the way through. So you felt like you had a barrel aged thing. But if somebody says, well, I don't want to have that much alcohol, what a great alternative you have. Yeah. Just add these drops into it, and then you just have the beer for what it is. You're not putting in that extra alcohol boost. It's just a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to close off my beer drinking experience for tonight with my favorite.
Schlitz.
Rest in peace, Schlitz. I've got my old Schlitz glass here that weighs a ton. Like I need elbow surgery. This hurts just picking this glass up.
Okay.
So
let me ask, since you've had Schlitz, have you ever had Schmidt?
I have had Schmidt.
Okay, same class.
It's 1,000 years ago, so
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what I thought of it, but like Schmidt, old
Beers of
school
our
beers like
fathers.
Schaefer,
Yeah.
I remember having. So I'm going to add a little list to my Schlitz. After this, I only have 10 Schlitzes left.
Oh, let me see here. Going to get Schlitz face, right? So take a look here. I was going to pull up the website as well so people can kind of see that there too. And for those of you that tuned in, at the top of the comments, the website is pinned there. But if you want to check out Soluble Oak, they have the website out here. Gives you a rundown on everything. You know, the cost is out here as well. You can select it. You can send it. They're giving you free shipping, which is great because some of the shipping prices have been going up in some spots. So, and depending on what you're looking to do, you have the different sizes. Anything you want to note off the site here, Cal, as well as I go through?
We started the company as an environmental company, and that's kind of the backbone. And we don't talk about it that much, but barrel aging is like, the technology hasn't really changed in 2,000 plus years, frankly. And when you look, I was going to bring a stave tonight, but when you look at a barrel stave, like 32 millimeters, they only use basically four millimeters of the stave, and the rest is used as a container. And and we use, we're 96% more efficient than that. And so the premise was starting the company and try to figure out a more environmentally friendly way to impart oak flavor. And I know it doesn't it's not a great selling item in general, but for us it matters. And we just thought, we're going that direction and feel good about it. So.
Okay. Well, this is interesting on here too. So do you have people that do ask about additive to spirits? Because you're wondering, like, would people add like this to a bourbon or a scotch or something else?
Yeah, okay. It's fantastic. There's a YouTuber, Jesse Wilson, that does bourbon whiskey, and he's just thinks it's crazy great. And we're just starting to work with him, and it's great. That's a no-brainer for the product. So.
Cost effective too. Look at here,
yeah. Plus, like for the spirits guys and the wine guys, they have they're waiting 5 years before they release a product versus putting it in and shipping it the next week. So it's a pretty advantageous. Of course. So.
And I would say something like maybe for the if you're not home brewing and you're the casual drinker, but you want to check it out, something like the sample size here is a good thing to do because you're only putting a couple drops in to check out your beer and kind of get a feel of it. So, yeah,
exactly. And we're just kind of starting to try to morph to offer something to the consumers. So, or the guy the home brewer. So that's a new thing, and we're excited about that. So
excellent.
To those ends, I was like, when you invited us on the show, I was like really super delighted. So thank you guys so much for that.
Did you see like have you worked with like homebrew shops where like they would carry your product?
We have put pretty much zero effort into it up to this point. So that is on my to-do list.
Yeah,
we're definitely going that direction, 100%. So,
because definitely, like, I think this would be good for like, and I'm a failed home brewer. I haven't homebrewed in a long time, but like the one person that wrote in, and my apologies, I forgot who wrote in, but like I did the whole soaking my oak cubes and Maker's Mark and adding it to a beer, but something like this, while you don't get the bourbon notes, but you definitely get like the wood notes. And I could see this with, making a lighter lager, lighter ale that would really kind of just put that over the top as a home brewer.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have the guessing. You just like dial it in after fermentation. So It's pretty good that way.
Well, I will say with the Schlitz, that's good.
That's what I was saying. You put this with one of the American adjuncts, it definitely is going to add a nice touch to it, I think. And shout out to Vanessa, who's also here. Vanessa's been with me from almost day one on stuff, and she's a big bourbon stout fan. Her Dragon's Milk is her favorite. Now we got her on Guinness for an extra and left hand. But Vanessa, you have to go back and catch some of the earlier part if you missed it, because this is a great thing you could add to your beers to give that oak feel. And it's also her favorite wood, she says, besides hard maple. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But this one, I mean, again, the North High Red Ale is definitely hidden for sure. So it's nice. I mean, it's a great touch. I mean, you're definitely. I'm surprised you're not like on what's the one with the shark?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Yeah,
yeah.
Full name, right? I'm surprised you're not on there pitching those guys. I can see like those guys. Like, wait a second, you did what with this? And maybe you will be. Maybe you will be at some point.
We've done everything wrong. I think as a company, it's like we are so slow. I mean, it took us like 4 years to do the R&D, and we're still kind of tinkering. We want to do it right, and people have offered big cash infusions, and we're just not ready. So we're just kind of going slow. But I am confident we're going to grow, but it's going to be at a sustainable pace, I hope. So
all right, slow and steady wins a race.
Yeah.
I hope. We'll see.
Well, you're definitely on the right path for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So where do you guys see yourself going now? Like, what's your next steps as far as like, are you starting to, you're setting up stuff? Are you going to conferences? Do you want to kind of get into that loop of being able to get out in front of folks, or?
We're not there quite yet. I mean, as I said, I just got back from Europe and going with some large wineries over there. And kind of we've been going that route. But we want to start going to shows that you guys suggest and getting in front of brewers and just giving them free samples and saying, go for it. And I'm trying to get this guy in the company, but he's too busy making too good a beer. And
he's over just making his own stuff.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk really quickly about wine? Because like I'm intrigued about this, and you mentioned you were just in Spain, and like I'm not like a huge wine person, but I always loved like the Spanish reds. So like, is there a product like, here I have the French. Is there something like I could use to enhance that experience as a wine drinker or a casual wine drinker?
Yeah, definitely. I've had so many people saying, you got to sell at Trader Joe's or something like that just to increase, just to change the bottle of wine. And we go to parties and we just like put some French into a mediocre bottle of wine. And
$2 Chuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's, it's great. Like for the Riojas and the Tempranillos and stuff like that. It's the French oak has been just amazing. One frustration I have is so weird. Like we'll sell to a company and I say, well, can we use you as reference? They go, no, it's everything is secretive and no one wants to tell everyone what they're doing. So it's a little hard getting momentum when we can't advertise who we're selling to.
You can't say like, hey, I have such and such person as a client. Yeah,
exactly. No, I recommend the French for the wine, 100%.
Okay, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that will be my next purchase. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'll send you some for sure. Right. And Rod, you have the American. I thought I sent you the French too. I didn't.
No, I just had the American Oak Dark. That's what I have.
Sorry, I will send you some French this week. So please try it.
Now, you went to Europe there for the wine, but like, are you going down to Napa as well? Like, are you doing stuff out in California, or have you talked to anybody there yet? I mean,
we have, but for some reason, it's been just more receptivity in foreign markets right now. I think because they're selling to America and they're selling bottles under $20, and they just got to, costs are going up. They're trying to figure out how can we still do this and offer a great product versus a lot of the wineries in the U.S. are, have much higher end product, and they don't want to try something like that. But we're turning heads. It's crazy. It's just like we have on our website. You might have seen it. There's Towns and Cellars has like a 2011 Syrah and a brand new Syrah, and with their sommelier, and said, okay, can we match it? And at the end of the video, and I was going to their place, and I was kind of petrified. It was like, okay, this is the big show. What's he going to say? And it was so close, it was crazy. So I think for the most part, it's going to be really hard for even a above average consumer to know the difference, I think, at the end of the day. So
Syrah be a good style for sure. Yeah.
Like really quickly, and I'm, like I said, I'm not like the wine connoisseur, but using something like this, how much time would that take off of aging something for like wine? Like you could add a drop of this. Would this for a winery, would this take a year off of the process?
No, we can calculate exactly how much oak is in wine, and we try to match that. So, but I mean, we take a 5-year aged wine aged in a barrel for 5 years, and we could replicate that in a second. It just like in 3 days, it's mixed well, and the oxygenation and the mouthfeel and the pleasant oak flavor. Very hard to tell the difference. Very hard, and you don't taste anything foreign, as you guys know. And so we're excited about that. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get one more beer because I'm going to do the coup de grace. I'm going to actually do an IPA. It's going to go get a new glass. So I'll let Dave ask any other questions here while I go do that real quick.
All right.
We're going to end also in an all-day IPA, which is really, it's a great IPA, session IPA. Did we have that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're good.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, Rod's off, so I'll ask the brewmaster here.
Yeah.
If you had to design your dream beer using soluble oak, what kind of beer are you making?
Probably a barley wine. That's one of my favorite styles across the board anyway. And I do love a barrel aged or an oak infused barley wine. So something like that is probably going to be speaking to my heart. Something if I'm looking for as a seller, something just to kind of more widely to sell, I might look at a light lager. Because I like the nuance, and I like everything that it adds to those nice light lagers. To me, that was very surprising as well. I mean, you talk about stouts and barley wines and these big beers that go really well with wood, but these light beers do really well with it too. So
yeah, I'm having the Schlitz right now, and I'm a Schlitz guy through and through, and I think my Schlitz hat's somewhere around here. I could bust out in a second, but I mean, this really added to it. It didn't, take away anything that I love, but just added something to it, just a little extra like boost to it. So definitely I see that. Like it's an addition. Let's be honest. It's not going to make a horrible beer great, but it'll make a good beer better. Yeah. And a really, a great beer even exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, could make a bad beer passable.
Drain force.
Yeah.
We've all had them,
I'm going to give it an IPA test, and I'm actually going to do the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger G-Force. So we're going to take it to the high level. That's the last one of the night that I'll be doing, but 11% ABV. So
big one.
Yes. That's one of the newer ones they brought out. It is the weekend, so
Yeah,
Definitely.
cheers to that.
Yeah, thank God for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
So this should be interesting.
Like a pro.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I don't know if I'm getting it all like I'm supposed to, but
Just putting a lot in.
I think I
Yeah.
got the better deal with the small bottle. I could just pour a couple drops in.
well, it's all about what you can control, Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Dave, you asked me like what I was surprised about. Also, a surprise that we've had a big hits in the mezcal market.
Oh, really?
Something
Okay.
I
Oh, wow.
really knew like almost nothing about. That was a big surprise. But
Yeah, I've had some, and they're really good. And it's something like I don't know enough where I could talk intelligently about it, but I do enjoy the hell out of those. The few that I've had.
It's not bad. It's interesting. It's a juicy IPA, so it's going to be more fruitiness forward. But you're not really getting that bitterness.
yeah,
And that vanilla with the juice. I mean, it's almost like a smoothie type feel when you're actually drinking it with the juicy IPA. Again, I still get that smoldering effect with that. Like, I'm a big fan of Rauch beer, so
Oh yeah.
anything that kind of gives me a smoldering appeal, I'm always on board with, and I kind of get that there, and that
you
oakiness.
say, is that like a burnt marshmallow kind of, or what are you
Not the
describing?
burnt. I wouldn't say it's a burnt. It's more or less like a smoldering after the fire is what comes to mind when I think of it. Like as the fires kind of burn down, I kind of get that sense of it. How that can kind of get into your throat and stuff. I mean, you mentioned that, and it's kind of like I could see someone lean towards that, like the marshmallow type. But I was thinking the marshmallow thing, then it makes me think of s'mores. I don't have the full s'mores effect, but I can see the softness being there to make you think the marshmallow for sure. But really, that vanilla is what I get through there. So that vanilla, when it hits like basically the berry type feel of this juicy hazy IPA, it makes me think of like a Smoothie King type drink.
Mm.
And it's just like it like Steven said earlier, it kind of overtakes some of the roughness of it being IPA. So it's almost like just like a smoother type hazy.
It becomes a health drink, right?
Right. I would put it down there for a health drink. One a day, keep the doc, one a day, keep something away, but probably work. If you're doing one a day of 11% ABV, you're probably keeping the work away. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of liking the mix of it in here with this. So the versatility of it is hitting on all the different beers that we've been trying the different styles on. So that's a great thing in itself. So yeah.
And I'm going to finish off with I'm going to do a non-alcoholic. So I just added a couple drops, and I'm having a non-alcoholic Kolsch, and it's good. And I will say I have not had this Kolsch yet on its own, so this is the first time I've had this. But I think this is solid with the oak.
Yeah.
I've seen that brand before. Like it's like at Kroger or somewhere.
It's a pretty big NA brand. And
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing something with them in like the next month or so. But no, that's solid. I like that.
Excellent.
It's a good feel, even as like a non-alcoholic. Now, like I said, I have not had this on its own plain, so I couldn't tell you like the difference between the two. This is the first time I'm having this, but I mean, just the oak with this is solid. Like you would not know this is an NA. This is something like, yeah, I would drink these all day, every day.
No, that's good to know because both David and I are ambassadors with Go Brewing as well. So they do NA. So it'll be kind of interesting to experiment with some of their stuff too. But I'm
like, do you see, speaking of NA, like, do you see, because like, you know, you're not going to get like bourbon barrels with a non-alcoholic beer. You're not going to get these 11%, 18% behemoths, but do you see, you know, Cal doing something with like a non-alcoholic brewery where you could get these woodsy notes and different notes that you wouldn't be able to get with your traditional non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah.
I can answer, 100%, and that's another surprise market I didn't know really existed when we started this thing. And NA wine, it's like you can't extract. You don't have the extractives without the alcohol. So
yeah, but no, it's really good with an NA. So
Nice.
add that to the list.
okay, thank you guys. Great idea.
Non-alcoholic Kolsch, it works well.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got to think with, you know, and all these reports come out about some of the younger generations, they're all finding they want different flavor type aspects and stuff, but they might not want alcohol. So for the NA, adding something like this could be a great opportunity for them for what they might be looking for, expanding their horizons without having to have the buzz of it too. So definitely a good opportunity. Oh, Bruce said, now that is a health drink you can finesse. Yeah. 11% with it. Yeah. But no, I definitely, I'm glad to have you guys on. I think it's a great product. I'm glad you made us a part of telling the story and sharing this. We'll definitely be talking to some of the people I know in the industry about it as well as some of the home brewers as an opportunity to take a look at. I think when, you know, we spoke before, Cal came to mind because I know people over at Abraxas, they do like the hop terpenes, and this is kind of one of those things now we're doing on the oak side. It could be a great opportunity for you. So, you know, just remember, we talked about the different breweries and like how you went overseas and are more receptive. Just remember the Americans didn't want the VCR when it came out either. The guy went to Japan and sold it there. And then they're like, how did we miss that deal? Right. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Well, it's been a blast talking with you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for your openness.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. And thank you for sending over the stuff. I mean, this has been really good, educational. It's something that, you know, I think I mentioned earlier, it enhances the beer. It doesn't change the taste, but it just brings a level out. It's like a finishing salt to your favorite meal. It just enhances everything.
Yeah, that's a good comment.
Yeah,
it definitely enhances, but it did make it better for me on some of the adjunct stuff. But you know, not like I said, the one that Firestone did, I didn't hate. I like it, but it definitely made it better. It gave me more of, hey, I can try this with some other stuff too. So definitely great stuff there. And again, for those of you actually watching, if you didn't get the details there before, in the link at the top of the pinned comments is the website. And I'll just put that out there again, where you can actually check out more on Soluble Oak as well. But I think you guys are on the right road for something new that the beer industry can definitely use as a great opportunity for sure.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Anything?
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you'd like to add here and stuff, or to talk about there?
No, I want to see, you know, where it's going. Like Cal said a minute ago, I'm not necessarily specifically attached to the company, but I've been kind of helping with taste testing and using it in my beers and meads for a few years now. So I'm really excited that he's been making these contacts overseas, here domestically as well. And I just hope that it keeps taking off. So thank you guys for hosting it. And
yeah, I'm really a lot of gratitude. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you guys absolutely, you know, whenever, like, you know, Thomas, if you want to come on and talk about, you know, mine's just audio, but talk about in the future, like the different stuff you have coming on.
Yeah.
My door's open, you know. Cal, if you ever want to come on, like, you know, love to hear more. You guys are the best.
Thank you. You got to talk to Thomas about meads.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Cool.
All Or maybe we can do a joint thing again, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, at the same time as if you want to come on there as well. And because I do have some of the people out there actually in Washington and Oregon and stuff like that would definitely be interested to find out more about what you're doing, I'm sure. So, but no, this is great. Definitely keep us posted on everything. Feel free to reach out. You have our contact information. Yeah. And, always, like I said, I always want to tell the story and share different things. Feel free to catch up with us offline on, hey, there's people you're trying to reach out to, people we connect you with, we can definitely work that part of the network as well.
You got it. And let us know if you need more samples to play with. You got it.
I can let you know now. I'm going to probably work my way through this stuff because this happened here already. Yeah.
Well, you got the bigger bottle. I'm almost done with my little bottle here.
I told you, Dave. It's about what you can handle. So
yeah.
But we don't want to have to hold you guys up. But thanks for coming on. We'll definitely look to get you on something else, and appreciate you for sure. So keep it going. Like I said, keep us informed, and we'll keep talking.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Oops.
You cut me off. Yeah.
I got a lot of buttons here, and I'm 4 beers in now. So, but thanks for everybody that tuned in. It was great having the guys want to talk about Soluble Oak, Cal, and Tom. Make sure you check out the site. A lot of good stuff they got happening. A lot of good beer. A lot of good options with using the Soluble Oak into the different beers. 4th beer might be hitting a little bit. I told you it was 11%, right? Okay, so start to catch up with me. I had the smaller ones early, but anything you want to close out on? Anything you have? We didn't really do the news this week since we had great guests on, but
no. But I'm going to put out an episode tomorrow night, staying with wood, and I got a barrel-aged episode coming out where I'm going to talk about 3 Chicago barrel-aged beers. Like the guy I talked to at Revolution, Marty Scott, who is the barrel program manager, I mean, phenomenal. If you want to know anything about like wood and barrel aging, that's the guy to listen to, and you're going to learn a lot. So definitely, I'm going to put that out tomorrow night.
Okay, excellent. And then for those of you watching my channel here, I've got more stuff upcoming. It's been a little slow. I put a couple of videos out this week. It's tax time, folks. I had to take care of the taxes and do all that kind of stuff. And then I'll be getting back after things this week and sharing some more good reviews coming in. A lot of stuff sent in from Firestone Walker. So I got a lot of great stuff to share with you from those guys. And then some other things to share as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And Cal and Thomas, hang out there in the green room for a bit because we'll bring you back up after we sign off here. But thanks for everybody that tuned in. We will not be doing a Midwest Beer Show in 2 weeks. I'm going to actually be out of town. Unless Dave wants to do Beer Front, you can do Midwest Beer Show on your channel. Carry your brand on if you'd like to do it yourself. And
we'll talk after we log off here.
Okay, so we'll do something there. But more stuff coming back to the channel. Stay tuned. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Big thanks again to the guys for showing up for Soluble Oak. Great having you two here as well. That's all I really got. So we will catch up with you guys on the next one. Remember, if you're on a podcast listening back to this, come join us on YouTube so you can be part of the live action as well. And if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, same thing. Come over to YouTube and check us out. That being said, cheers.
Thank you for tuning in. It's been a ride. Roger and Daisy, we here with pride. Midwest Beer Talk as we glide. Catch us again. Don't let this vibe slide. Like and subscribe. It's the key. Roger Beverages. Join our spree. Big in front. We got the flow. Catch us live. Let times grow.